Hey guys, I'm Pascal from Orange Pixel, and up here, guys. Hi, I'm Pascal from Orange Pixel, and this is Wolverine. I recently bumped into him last weekend, actually. Yeah, I thought it was a very good looking figurine. When I bought it, I figured out it's actually a piggy bank. It's made out of plastic. It's very cheap, but it looks pretty good, and I think it looks even much better in the new black cabinet that I bought for this studio or my office. So let's put it up there, and that's really what I want to talk about this week. I've been building my office step by step, adding new things to it, and that's basically how I also build up my games. So I thought, let's combine those two and let's give you both a studio tour and also some information on how I build up my game start to finish. So see you after the intro. Alright, so let's take Gunslugs as the example to this whole analogy with a studio. When I started building this studio, the main thing I wanted was a desk, a chair, and of course some lights and a camera, because I wanted to make it a recording studio office type thing. Those were the base ingredients and the main ingredients, and comparable to how I built Gunslugs. With Gunslugs I just wanted to create a quick, fast action game, something I knew how to create because I just finished Ashworld, which took way longer than I wanted, and that was a very big struggle to actually complete it. So I wanted to create something simple, and a new Gunslugs game would fit that mold. It was very easy, an overworld where you could run around, enter buildings, run around in the building, take down the building, shoot enemies and progress to the next level. Basic ingredients, pretty much the desk, the camera, the lights and a chair. That's what I wanted to create first. Okay, so we now have an office with a desk and a camera and lighting, so we can create interesting videos. And for the game we actually have the Gore gameplay mechanics, so you can run around the overworld, you can enter buildings and you can take down those buildings, shoot enemies. But I wanted more. I wanted better videos and I wanted more interesting environment around me. So I started adding shelves and pictures behind me and having stuff happening on the TV. For the game I wanted better graphics, so I started creating new graphics, because the graphics I just threw together for the core mechanics were basically a filler, just to have something on the screen and see if it looks okay. Those were the first graphics I could come up with, and over time they just change because you start to look at them a lot more and more. So good graphics will remain, but graphics that just don't cut it will be replaced with new graphics, and that's what I started doing. And I also started adding more gameplay features to the core mechanics without actually losing the core mechanics. Right now the current version is still running around the overworld, entering buildings, taking down those buildings, but I've added so much extras on top of those features. Pretty much like I've been adding a lot around me in the office or the studio, or like you could do in a living room or a bedroom or whatever. You start out with the basic stuff and then you start adding stuff to it that's part of your personality or part of what you enjoy and what you want to see around you.
Hey!
So right now I'm pretty happy with the state of my office slash studio. Even though I'm adding still things like a new bookcase or a Wolverine statue. But right now I can record in various locations of this very tiny room, because it's like, I think 3 by 3 meters or something, probably even less than that. But it fits my goals, and originally Gunslugs was supposed to be a very tiny little game, but over time as I worked on the game I wanted something bigger and better. I wanted it to be comparable to bigger games I created, like Ashworld, Heroes of Loot 2 and Space Grunts. Those games are size-wise pretty big, and I wanted this game to be more like that than the original Gunslugs games. So I was looking and searching for something unique, something different, even though I still wanted to have the base core gameplay, and those mechanics are still in the game, but I've been adding a lot of tactical and stealth to the game, making it a completely different experience from the original Gunslugs games, and also completely different from what I've set out to create. But that's okay, because I can imagine that this office is still gonna be changed in the coming months or weeks or years. It won't be the same. My taste in things will change, so I might at some point remove all these little Funko Pops and replace it with Barbies, or, well, something. I might replace everything you see around here at some point because my taste changes. But the core mechanics of this place will stay the same. It will be my office slash studio, unless we start moving to another house, because obviously then we're gonna start the process all over again, which would be comparable to creating a new game. Alright, and that's how I build up my games. Pretty much comparable to how you would build up your own office or your studio or your bedroom or your living room or your kitchen even. You start with the most important stuff and then you start add layers to it and make it more interesting, make it look better and add some color to it, add some things to it, and eventually you end up with hopefully a good game. I hope. I think I did that, but we're not sure yet until we actually release the game, which is not going to take much longer, or at least I made some decisions on it, and that's something I'm going to talk about next week. It's going to be the 3rd publisher video. I promised I would talk about it, so that's going to be next week's video. You might also notice this little new logo behind me. I repurposed some old sketches for the original Gunslugs. Some of those were never used before, like basically the 2 characters on this side. They were never used anywhere, so I re-inked them and recolored them, and we have a new logo. So lots of stuff to talk about next week. I hope I'll see you back again next week. Well, I won't see you, but I'll feel you. I also look at the viewers numbers underneath the YouTube video, and that's how I know you watch. But of course you can also add a thumbs up and maybe give a little bit of comments below, or let me know what you think about the video, all that stuff. I like to hear from you guys. Well, yeah. You can type now. I'm gonna wrap up that. I'm gonna end the video and then you can type below, or maybe give it a thumbs up. Yeah? Okay. See you next week. Bye. Are you typing? Thumbs? Cool. Alright, bye. Type some comments below. See you next week.